What's going on, Action Army?
What's happening, guys? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the official Action Army show.
Welcome to the most important hour of your life this week. If you're not watching this show, you're probably a Jackass or a Lions Den fan.
Yeah, guys, it's basically a fucking call to action. Just kidding. It's exactly what it is, okay? This is the intro to Call to Action. The single most important piece of content you're going to ingest in the next 7 minutes.
If you love Action Army and you love Ben and Drew, then this is the place to be. And if you don't love us, well, then fuck you.
Go buy a suit, get it fitted, get the pants tailored so the length is just right and the break of your pants looks fantastic, get a bottle of Jameson, and get on fucking board.
Peace out.
Hey, what's up, assholes? This is Danny from Call to Action. I'm back, baby. I know you're expecting James, but I am the captain now. And we have a new fresh face here with us today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Alex Mack. Hello, salute to everyone. I am excited to join the Army. I have been part of the Army for about a year now. I've been a Schmodown fan for about 2.5 years. And but I just really started getting into the community and being involved in fantasy leagues for the past year. So it's really been fun since starting. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right. So, so this week we got a couple of different matches we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about a pretty impressive Inner Geekdom debut from a Patreon. And then we're going to talk about singles. We're going to talk about Whitney Seibold. The name that Ellis never gets right. So,
the loser, right? We're
yeah,
the loser. Great.
The losers.
Great way to start this podcast. Okay, just get yourself together.
Yep. So let's get so the first one we're talking about is this Kevin Smets and David Moore. What do you think about this Smets guy, the Patreon guy?
I think he's fine. I'm kind of indifferent. He's just so beige, if that makes sense.
Beige?
He's just so boring. I don't know. He just danced around and everything. I thought that was cute, but just so beige. He's like a Hershey's chocolate bar. Nothing more to it than just regular chocolate. I was kind of bored. And it came through when he lost, so,
White chocolate. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and then he had to just bring a random hype man because I guess he couldn't talk it himself. But I was pretty impressed with his first round. But some of those questions were kind of simple. So maybe when we get to see him with other leagues, there's nothing really interesting about the other entrances. David Moore, apparently his dad was the guy who hosted Nick Arcade. I'm probably the only old person who probably remembers that game back in the day and wanted to be on there practicing on my Castlevania skills. Hopefully forgetting that chance. It never happened.
Yeah, I felt like him. I felt like he was all personality, at least for this, and very little substance, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
He's a nice guy, I'm sure, but as far as talented on the mic and everything, fine, that's great and all, but you're gonna need more than that in order to kind of get through this match, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he did not pull through. Poor guy. I almost cried for him because I was like, this is so sad. And having a hard time pulling through some of those very obvious names. Colin Firth, Hugh Grant, come on, one of the most iconic 90s movies. Romantic movies, of the 90s. How can you miss that? But
yep,
you gotta amp it up.
Yep. So, but so Kevin, he had the perfect round. He got the extra point, and then he missed only 1 point in movie release dates. That's something our boy Ben would probably be happy with, or maybe not so happy with because he's got some competition there, but. He knows his Inner Geekdom. Let's see if he knows other movies. But
little comment about how he likes pain, so he watches Daredevil.
Brooding, a brooding superhero. We've seen it before. Very cliche. He didn't have the sunglasses though, so he's not an official heel in the Schmodown apparently.
It kind of hit close to home as well a little bit, considering how we just found out Daredevil and all the Jessica Jones and everything was just canceled. So when he said that, I was like,
Yeah.
but
Press F.
regardless.
F.
But I was wondering, considering how reliant he was on his manager to kind of hype him up and everything, and he kind of popped in and was like rubbing his shoulders in the middle of the match. I kind of wonder how self-reliant he is. I mean, does he require his hype man with him at all times? Does he need a cheerleader, or can he just
go out there and do his own thing
there to amp him up every single time, or can he be self-reliant? I mean, Guy, hello. I mean, he doesn't need his own hype man. He is his own hype man. That's why he's the best. I mean, come on.
It's the point of being a heel. You don't need nobody but yourself.
And these guys are just walking in.
Amateur hours, but
100%. Can't have that.
Let's see. So he called out Navarro at the post match. Do you think we'll ever see Navarro again? Unless, and then maybe we can get Robert Myers Burnett, Navarro, the revenge. But
is that a joke? We were never gonna have him on the IG. Come on, outside of this little match coming up, it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Ever. Although instead of Navarro, I think honestly him going up against Hybon, I feel like that would be like a good match.
Yeah.
I mean, considering
or Donica. We can go with the Donica maybe. They're both kind of like
Donica.
These bad guys.
Yeah,
they're kind of like these tough guys. I miss him. And he's an Action Army fan, so we much love him. Hope he's doing good. So and then what we had beforehand was we had the little mini Stacy moment, and we had Grace actually in the beginning. So what do you think about this Roxy Grace thing that's happening?
Well, thing 1 and thing 2 can definitely have their bouts of stupidity, but as long as they're not affecting my fantasy league, we're good. I mean, like Stacy, I was like, Stacy, I feel like she's a good player, but I don't feel like every time she goes up against someone of real substance, she doesn't pull through. Essentially, she's had really good matches where I feel like she's kind of pulled them. She had Mark Ellis, she had a few other players, and I'm like, okay, she's doing good on these, but she's playing these really easy competitors, and I feel bad because she's been in the league for so long. She really, when she hits her categories, she's amazing. Like Clark with her, horror thriller category, Unstoppable. When she hits like rom-com or anything along those lines, she nails it every single time. But if she hits classics or anything, it's like night and day. So I mean, I would never bet on her, to be honest. But her joining Corruption, I'm all for it. Honestly, I'm hoping a little bit more hype and a little more motivation from Ken. Plug for Motivations with Ken. Yeah, love those. Yes. They're so cute. It's so good. But I'm hoping that will make her want to really amp it up. She's kind of been on the sidelines for a little bit now, so Janine can really kind of maximize it. But I'm hoping this is really going to take her even farther than she's ever gone before. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm totally agree with you. Like the matches we got with Stacy, we got RB3. We had like, all these kind of like one and done people. The guy from Tough Beats, whatever the fuck their names were.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, so it was.
I'm not gonna remember these losers' names, so there's no point. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and then so yeah, I kind of like, they always just had kind of her as a prop, like when she was in the Viper squad. It was just like her and Marquia. Even Marquia got like more like attention, and she had like one of the worst like outings.
She did for like a minute. I don't know. It's like I don't know what happened to her. She was there. She was real hot for like a split second, like for like 2 episodes, 2 matches. I mean, like behind the scenes stuff, and then she was gone. And understandably, like her debut match was like arguably one of the worst we've ever seen. Understandably, Maybe she kind of realized in her debut match, hey, maybe I can't do this, and I just can't dedicate the time to learn and really focus in on this, because I mean it's hard work, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just, you know, casually watch movies like any Joe Schmo and think you can pull the shit out of your ass
Mm-hmm.
and be Dan Murrell. You can't expect that. That's not gonna happen. You got to make notebooks. You got to like have IMDb your homepage essentially. You know, you got to be in it to win it. So you know, so understandably, if she kind of decided, or her and Jay Washington sat down and decided, hey, it's not for her, whatever. I was hoping, because of everything with Anarchy, she would want to. She's actually would want to be more of a manager role.
Oh yeah.
So, and I thought she was really great. I thought she was like an even better version of Jay Washington when she managed to take the cannoli. So
yeah.
yeah, she was awesome.
So I don't even know what's gonna happen now with Viper Squad, because it's just Janine.
It's gone. That's what it is.
Ethan. Yeah, it's disappeared. Yeah. So
Janine, we got Ethan Irwin.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
the runner-up to Dan Murrell. Well, you can just, let's be honest.
Man, that was a great match. It really was. Oh, rough. Regardless.
All right, so I guess we had a second match too. Before that, we had Sam. We had a little Sam cameo return. Apparently he's the singles commissioner now. I didn't even know that was a thing, but cool.
You didn't hear
so they had. No, I'm out of the game. So, like I said, I actually had a. So what do you think about this? No. What do you think about the matches ups? And then, because we were just talking about Earthwind, so these matches, you know, with Andreyko and Bib, Andreyko, Roca, Bibbs, and Mon. You think that's fair? Or should we have Andrew guy? I think, you know.
Sorry, can you repeat that? You're a little fuzzy there.
I said. So, what do you think about the number one contenders? We have Bibbs and Lon. Then we have Roca and Andreyko. But no Andrew. So that's kind of some bullshit right here. So
I know,
besides that,
like, they're just afraid.
What do you think about that?
You know.
So what do you think about that? You think that's pretty fair? Top four.
You know what? These biased assholes, they just have no respect, you know, for, you know, the leaders of the match, of the games, you know, for their superiors. So it's really annoying, you know. But you know what? They are the commissions. You know, these vintage, pretty much. They're these antiques, just walking around. I do like Lon Harris. I'm excited for him. I'm hoping he's gonna pull through, and same for Draco. Roken can shove it up his ass. I mean,
yeah. How many times we have to see the old man?
He was a real something at some point, but
yeah.
he can shove it up his ass and just leave. Just, you know, just leave. You know, it's just annoying that he has to be there for as long as he has been. He has to step down, let someone else, because he's been protecting his seat for so long, even though he's kind of an average player now, realistically. Everyone's talking about how he needs to be on the, you know, Mount Rushmore of players. And I'm like, really? Who are you kidding yourself? Get over it. You know, he was an okay heel even then in his heyday. You know,
30 years ago.
30 years ago, exactly.
Yeah, before Andrew was born. Yeah.
Exactly. And then Drew came in and blew the lid off this shindig.
Yeah, and you just can't take it. You know, the sun. Yep.
Well, they realize that, you know, he's arguably, he is the best heel of the entire, you know, league, the sport. And also he is arguably like one of the best players. And no one really talks about it. And it's so annoying. But that's why I'm pissed. He's not in the singles matches that have been announced so far. Draco, I'm hoping Draco pulls through. He deserves it. He's kick-ass, and he's definitely underrated, I think. I've argued with many people for it, and I'm hoping for him and Lon Harris. So we'll see.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. I definitely like Andreyko of all the Fife club, and now that that's gone out of the way, finally we don't have to hear any more about Emma's like jibber jabbers anymore.
The Mean Girls Club?
Yeah, the Mean Girls Club. They pretend
Yeah.
they're not mean girls, but they are mean girls.
They're the Mean Girls. Yeah. I can just picture
Okay.
Draco being like, so fat. So fat.
Brienne did it first, though. So
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, with the Christmas costumes. Absolutely. That would have been, I miss that.
all right, so I guess we're gonna go to Whitney Seibold and another the David Del Rio guy. So let's get this. Let's talk about these guys. So,
Yeah.
what'd you think about him? First impressions, like first round was pretty good. 7-6 was the first round.
Yeah, I mean, it was a solid first round. I'm a little disappointed in Seibold. I mean, considering how huge he's been involved, how regularly, consistently he's been involved with, the teams leagues for as long as he has now as part of critically acclaimed, and just being just attached to the hip to not only on his through this league, but through his podcast and everything as well with Bibiani. So him, I don't want to say losing so easily, but I want to say he lost very easy questions. I was just very surprised he lost. So I'm just really, really hoping we're not going to get in a situation where we realize that Bibbs has just been carrying him. Understandably, he has been like Bibbs is a superior teammate on critical acclaim, but by how much has yet to be determined. And this match was just kind of a wake up call, a little wake up call for us to be like, oh man, that was rough. That was real rough. So I really want him to redeem himself, like how Bibbs was saying. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, they're always known for their entrances, and they didn't disappoint me there.
What do you
with
think?
the Eraserheads. I mean, love my David Lynch, so thought that was really cool. They had the Mystery Science Theater, and so like my inner
iconic,
geek,
absolutely.
yeah, kind of just melted a little bit. So so
the big hair.
So
I
need that.
My first thought was Wolverine, to be honest, when I saw the hair. Yeah, I didn't think of Eraserhead initially. It took me a second, just because it was just so there. I really loved the hair, but yeah, I'm hoping to see more weird entrances rather than cute costumes and theme songs. So we'll see.
Yeah, and then I guess it was interesting that the Del Rio guy compared himself already to Marlon and Ethan Irwin already. And,
yeah, I was like, okay, you need to calm your shit, little man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like Dan Murrell. Dan Murrell's a weirdo that wears nothing but ball caps. I mean, like, I don't know if I can respect someone that wears ball caps just every single day. What a weird guy. I mean,
it's the same hat, same hat, same platter. I see it on Screen Junkies every day.
Every single time I've watched, screen movie fights and everything, I'm like, damn it, you're smart, but Jesus, why are you wearing the same fucking hat? Calm your shit. But yeah, when he described himself that way, I was like, hold your shit. One, you can't really make that comparison for at least several matches once we actually get some regular stats on you. I mean, his numbers were really solid. I mean, the only ones he really messed up were some awkwardly worded questions, I feel like. But I feel like he made a really solid debut. But I kind of hoped he would do less of a. He just seemed so boring, if that makes sense.
He needs a character. He needs a character.
Yeah, he was just really boring with his, and also they looked the same.
They sounded the same. Like if you listen to the audio instead of watching on YouTube, you'd swear it was just the two of them talking to each other.
Yeah, it was kind of weird, like watching it, especially during the quick intros at the beginning. They both had like the similar jackets, and they were both like wearing the same colors and everything with glasses.
Just the scarf. To try to disguise us.
I wanted to like punch him in the face through the TV. Like, get some character in you. Come on.
Shake them up a little. Like, you gotta get this. You gotta get some more energy coming out from all these rookies, because we got That's probably another thing that I want to just bring up with. Unless, the last thing I wanted to say about this match is I think what really killed Whitney was, I think he was trying to be nice and he stuck with the Robin Williams one. And
yeah,
but I mean, usually like when it comes to like those broad topics, I mean, they usually have them like first few of them kind of easy, but they were kind of a little bit hard, I would say, except for like like the Dead Poet Society one, which was the easy one. So.
Yeah, that category, you either love it or you hate it. I mean, like and not to mention he's Robin Williams, as talented as an actor as he was. We always like to think, oh, we know him from like Aladdin. We remember him from Dead Poet Society and Patch Adams and all that good stuff, and that's great and all. But he made so many small weird movies. There was that one where he's plays like there's one like in the early 2000s where he's obsessed with the family and he's like a photo developer.
1 hour photo.
Yeah, 1 hour photo. He's weird, but he's done a lot of small little thrillers, small little horrors that a lot of people don't realize. So I feel like when it comes to that one, again, you either love it or hate it, but it's a very risky category because they can be real deep pulls if you're not really familiar. So, I mean, that was his loss. He should have known better.
Yeah.
And
so,
also, whoever sponsored that role, that category knew better.
You're an asshole. You're an asshole.
Yeah.
You caused Whitney's loss. We'll blame you.
You bastard. So.
All right. So, I guess speaking, because we had all these like debuts and stuff, so we've had quite a bit of rookies. So, did you want to like talk about like this audition process, the fan leaks, like?
Yeah, totally. Okay, so this little bunch of bitches, let me tell you, they think they're hot shit, and they need to calm that down. Okay. Okay, so everyone's coming in, and I'm not gonna lie, they're this very talented bunch. Especially they're coming in prepped. They already know how seriously the league is being taken, by the fans and by other competitors. So they're really coming in with a whole different mindset, I think, from people previously, if that makes sense. I mean, they already won several matches under their belt from being in the fan leagues. They've already been in tournaments, and with other people like ourselves that do take it, a little more seriously than the regular, person. So, it's really cool to see them really amping it up. And I think Christian Harloff on that note is really kind of making note of that and trying to find not only just good players, but he's trying to find the best players in these fan leagues.
Yeah.
But now, that being said, they're coming in and they're like way too confident. They just need to be knocked down a few pegs, I mean, they can't just walk in thinking that they're going to be champions.
Dan Morrow.
Yeah.
Every one of them are like come in highly confident. I mean, we except we got Oyama, so we got our Paul. So he's our guy. So
yeah.
But I played against them in some tournaments. Chans I played against, so I know that they are they're the real deal. But
are they that much of an asshole in real life?
Not in real life. No, they're sweethearts. I'm sorry. I'm gonna drop the curtain here, guys.
Oh no!
Yeah. Now you know. But
yeah, but that must have been fun to kind of see them in action before they went to the real league. Right.
I'm the gatekeeper, so you have to beat me, and then you go on the Schmodown. So.
Like, oh crap, I can't remember. I'm completely spacing on that loser team. Matt Atchity and Gray something.
Oh yeah, MODOK.
MODOK, yeah. Speaking of which, where are they? What's going on with them? I don't know. Are they even a team anymore? I don't know. I just remember them losing 3 matches.
I don't think so because of the padding to do's. Because that's the anarchy.
We haven't seen Gray, and I feel like forever. So we shall see. But yeah, you might be like a single version of MODOK.
I know, great. If I'm a version of MODOK, I'll take it. But
yeah.
All right, so so we're gonna go into a little mini break, and then we'll go back to you, and we're gonna talk about our mini segment, which is gonna be our top 5 anticipated movies of 2019. So
Absolutely.
we'll be right back.
Hello, guys. Welcome to the in-between segment. This is a transition for you and all the wonderful listeners of the show.
Some people might even call this a commercial. So since it's a commercial, we're going to promote a couple things that you should check out. Check out patreon.com/teamaction, as well as Wednesdays.
You can find us on the Action Movie Anatomy official show on the Popcorn Talk Network. Do you feel we're being serene? We certainly do.
Also, we're going to kick the shit out of every other Schmodown team in the entire league. Oh, here comes the next segment. See you in a minute.
Roka's a choker.
Bye.
All right, and we're back. We're here. We're going to be talking about our anticipated movies of 2019. We're going to count down from 5 to 1, and then we're going to read a couple of a list from a couple of the fans over here. So, Alex, would you like to begin with your number 5?
Absolutely. I did send you a brief list earlier today when I messaged you, but since then, things have changed just a wee bit. I watched new trailers, rewatched some old trailers, and I got rehyped for some other things. So, yeah. Okay, so number 1, I feel like it's a given. I mean, anyone in the movie community, it's like.
Let's start with 5 first. Start with 5.
Starting 5? Okay.
And then we'll go 5.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so number 5 would be Her Smell. Okay. And that is directed by Alex Ross Perry. It has Elizabeth Moss, also has Cara Delevingne and Dan Stevens, who I really, really like, from Legion. Really, really great. I love him. But I'm really excited about this one because the trailer is just released earlier this week, and I'm already so hyped for it because, one, not only is a director, he's an amazing director. He does a lot of really great indie movies, which I really appreciate, but also the visuals of it is really cool. There's not very many movies that look like it. It's very gritty and in a very different way from what we're used to seeing, if that makes sense. But it also has original music, which I like. But it's also a music story of the punk scene which is already a rare story, but especially from a point of view of a female, a female that's in a band of, from that. And it's supposed to be, I read some articles saying how it took a lot of inspiration from, Courtney Love, for a brief time. It's not like directly based on her, but it's kind of loosely based on some of her experiences, for a brief period in her life in the 90s, which I thought was really cool. So I'm pretty excited for that movie, especially, and it's going to come out, I think, over the summer.
Cool. All right, so my number 5 is one that we don't really know much about, but it's called Knives Out. Directed by Ryan Johnson.
Okay.
So I don't really know much about this, but I don't know. I've been interested in it. So I'm going to tie that with number 5, which is that Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. So that one I can kind of talk. Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah. Joaquin Phoenix. So, yeah, but I'm excited to know more about Knives Out, but since we haven't really known too much about it, the Joker movie at first really sounded like a very stupid idea
right.
So I feel like this movie could go one or two ways. It can actually be a success or it can fail terribly. The director is Todd Phillips. So he's the guy who did the Hangover movies and
War Dogs.
Project X. He did War Dogs, which was a good movie, but he's known for like these comedies and stuff. So and the Joker's
makes me even more nervous about it. As much as I love and respect Joaquin Phoenix and all of his work, his abundance, the combination of him with this really weird dark comedy director really kind of surprises me. So the picture that came out for it looked cool.
Yeah, but in a way, it feels like it's so crazy and it's so much like what a Joker could be. Like it's just like bonkers, and seeing that it doesn't on paper, it doesn't sound like it would make sense, or it sounds like, oh, this is some guy, a clown prince who's a villain, but he's actually like one of the craziest like psychotic villains ever. I mean, at first I was like, I don't even know if we need the backstory. We have the Killing Joke, and the whole point of the Joker is that he doesn't have like an identity. But I guess if they focus more on about like this guy who's kind of like
The psychology.
down on his luck, and then he just starts just losing his mind and something like that, maybe it could possibly work.
Yeah,
But
I mean, that's
like if
definitely an approach for sure. I mean,
yeah,
that's been
and
explored in several comics. How I mean, he is down on his luck comedian or a clown, and he gets tricked into doing something and it comes out, uh, or he has to do something, or I mean, you can go the Red Hood route where it kind of happens. But I mean, just looking at what little I know, just like the visuals excite me. Like that initial like little video that came out when they introduced like his look, that
yeah.
freaked me out for a minute, but I thought it was a joke, pun unintended. You know, because I mean, it didn't. It did when I saw it. I don't know. It just didn't look like the Joker to me. It didn't.
Mhm.
You know, so that's why I was like, oh, cool. But I mean, like, when's the real one coming out?
Yeah,
So
and I
that's
don't know
why
if
I'm
you like
a
watch
little iffy
Gotham or
on it.
anything. I don't know if you watch Gotham or anything, but their take
I
on the
love
Joker,
Gotham.
I think their take on the Joker is pretty good. So
Yeah, I'm one of the.
I
I
love it.
feel like I'm one of like the few people that I know, period, that likes the show Gotham.
Well,
A lot
you
of my
found a
friends hate
second
Gotham.
one, so that's cool.
Yeah, well, Air 5. Yeah. Yeah, but I was like, it's not the Joker, it's Jermaine. And that's frustrating considering
Hmm.
everything in the show. But yeah, I really appreciate, especially on Gotham, that approach to the character and how it's not perfect by any means, but it's just like a very different, to me, fresh version of how they do the Joker.
Yeah,
Ish.
then that's pretty much all I want. Is I want a
Mm-hmm.
fresh take, so I'm willing to roll the dice
Mm-hmm.
as long as we don't get anything like that Suicide Squad, Jared Leto kind of disaster.
Excuse me, that didn't happen. Okay, Danny, that didn't happen.
It's canceled, so so we're good.
No, yeah, it's not happen. It didn't happen to me. I just like mentally, I just cut all those scenes out of the movie. And it's an awful movie, regardless, but still. But
yeah,
James Gunn's gonna change all that. So with the next
right.
one.
Okay, so let's go to number 4 for you.
Number 4 for me is something I'm uber excited about. It's based off one of my favorite comic books of all time. It looks really funny. It looks really amazing. And the movie I'm talking about is Hellboy. So, oh yeah, you're excited. I know.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so good. Directed by Neil Marshall. Now, I really was super duper psyched when I heard about this, when this first initially came to fruition, because he directed some of my favorite horror movies of all time. Well, not of all time, but some of my favorite horror movies, period. For example, The Descent. He did Doomsday, which I think is a really fun action, thriller movie. He also did some favorite like the horror themed episodes of Game of Thrones, which I was like, yeah. So like Blackwater, for example, like a lot of the battle scenes and horror scenes. He's one that did those. But he also did a handful of episodes of Hannibal. Do you remember Hannibal, the TV show?
Yeah, I loved Hannibal.
Yeah,
I was a Hannibal fan.
Yeah, me too.
I was one of the. I was in the. I had a Tumblr account.
Yeah,
I was a Hannibal fan.
It's so good. Yeah, it's again, when it comes to that show, you either love it or you hate it. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
All my friends hated it, but yeah, he did a bunch of episodes with that as well. So this combination with Hellboy, I was super psyched because not only is the comic book, fantastic, but it's a really great reinvention of the character. I can't remember the guy's name that plays Hellboy from that plays him, but he's fantastic. He looks fantastic. It has a really awesome international cast, which I really appreciate. They definitely want to go for a much more global approach, but also they're featuring a really kick-ass female actress by Mila Jovovich of Resident Evil. I mean, how amazing is that? And she's going to be, and from all the stills that we've seen, she's this really cool, badass female villain that, she has this like really elemental powers, which, we don't really see that much in a lot of box office, like big blockbusters. So I'm pretty excited to kind of see how transitioning from her and something as action focused as Resident Evil, where she's fighting monsters, to her becoming the monster. So we'll see.
She's the actual like a witch, like a dead witch, like that.
Exactly.
In the comics, in the comics, she's actually like chopped into different pieces and stuff.
I am
because she's like that.
looking forward to
So
her being kick-ass.
yeah.
So we'll see.
So David Harbour is the one that plays Hellboy this time.
That's
around.
right. Yeah, I completely
But
spaced.
yeah, I have a soft spot for the Guillermo del Toro movies. The
Did you like the
trailer,
first or second one better?
I'm one of the few I like the Golden Army one. I mean,
Too.
first
I
one
love
is
that
good.
one.
Another high five, air high five.
Woo!
But
Yeah, I love that one.
yeah, but so I mean the trailer, quite honestly, was a little disappointing, but I have faith in it because I feel like it's going to be a lot more towards. Whereas, yeah, Guillermo Toro, he's got the Pan's Labyrinth, so he's the weird type. But I think this is going to stay a lot more true because the one who's creator of the comics is with it.
Exactly. Well, I mean, being someone that did read a handful of I didn't read all of their comics, but I did read a handful of them. I feel like it's a very dark comedy, which Del Toro's movies didn't really touch all that much, to be honest. I mean, and they're beautiful, they're wonderful in their own way, and I wouldn't touch them. They're some of my favorites for sure, especially in terms of like creature creation. I mean, they're stunning. However, there wasn't that level of really dark comedy or sarcasm or anything all that much. I mean, there was a little bit with Hellboy and him, but I mean, it just wasn't to the same level as the comics, which I kind of wish that they kind of touched on a little bit more with a few like conversations at some point. But alas, just watching the trailer, I feel like it definitely epitomized it a little bit better.
Yeah, and to see, I'm a huge Lost fan, so seeing Jen as with a British accent was kind of pretty cool. Daniel Day Kim, he's in Hawaii 5-0, but having him in this movie, it's cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that movie. That's a good choice. Mine is another movie. My number 4 is another hits me in the nostalgic feels, and that is Toy Story 4. And again, this is something that is going to be. This is like the Joker again. All these movies are rolling the dice. So,
as far as I'm concerned, the third one ended perfect, and it needs to be finished.
Yeah.
And I didn't laugh once watching the trailer, the teaser or the trailer when it came out, and I was so sad.
Yeah.
I was so sad. And I grew up with them too, but I don't know. I didn't feel anything, but maybe I will. Who knows?
Yeah. See, the thing is, I need to see a real trailer, not these little like jokes with Keel and Peel.
Well, the other one was like a real trailer. It was like a good 2.5 minutes, wasn't it? When they were at the carnival.
No, it was like 30 seconds, I think. I don't know. It didn't seem. It could have been longer, but it felt like it didn't feel like there was anything about the story. It just said that it was just that they're going to be at the carnival and we saw Bo Peep. But I'm with you. Like to me, I think those are the perfect trilogy of movies.
Arguably the best trilogy.
Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2 is my favorite Pixar movie.
Solid. Mine too.
I cry all the time when I'm watching Toy Story 3 all the time. I saw it in the theater.
Yeah. If you want to let some tears out of your body, just get out of your system. You watch any of them yourself.
Yep. Yeah, that's up there with the first scene of Up, but yeah, devastating. Woo! So when I first heard that they were going to do Toy Story 4, I just said, "Oh, this is an immediate cash grab." So
yeah.
But if they're doing something different, or if they're going to bring like a whole new set of things, or maybe even like a prequel to like before how they got Andy's toys, like maybe this is like with Andy's mom or something like that. I don't know why Buzz would be there, but
who's directing?
I don't know.
It? Are any of the same creators from the first third, from the first through third? Like if it was the same, like because I know, like if the first, second, and third had the same director and they're changing it with a different director, that would make me a lot more nervous. If that's same director, that would be one thing. But
yeah, I have to look that up real quick. But
I mean,
and then we don't have the great Don Rickles anymore, unfortunately. Rest in peace. So Mr. Potato Head, we're gonna have a different voice, but I don't know. I'm willing to take a chance on it.
You are in the popular, so no worries
yeah,
there.
I will. It's like I said. This is I'm going like to Vegas with a lot of these movies. Like they're gonna be hits or misses. So let me just see.
Jealous. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, but especially if you're making a movie like that that's so beloved that and you're gonna make a sequel, like for similar with Incredibles 2. That the first one is amazing. The second one, I feel it wasn't as amazing, but it was definitely
okay.
It was a great fun movie. It didn't hit the same marks for me, but regardless, I was glad we had a sequel. I was very grateful we had it. But because it didn't end on because it kind of ended on a cliffhanger just a little bit with that action scene. But with Toy Story, it had a definite solid ending.
Yeah.
That's why it concerns me. Like, it was a perfect ending for, considering the story. And so that's why I'm really weirded out by them being like, you know what, let's just make it another one anyway.
I put them in a carnival for some reason. Yeah.
At a carnival? Why are we at a fucking carnival? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yep. So we'll see. So that one is my number 4. Okay. And
yes.
Your number 3?
My number 3 is a fun one. It is Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Nice.
Okay, so directed by Michael Dougherty. He's really great, especially because he's really well known for making some really similar to Del Toro. He's amazing for making really great monsters. His background's mostly focused in writing. I did notice, he wrote Trick or Treat, one of my favorite Halloween movies. I watch it every year. Krampus. He also did that, which is really fun as well. To me, it's led to kind of become a Christmas classic. It's really great. Because I'm not much of a, Christmas Vacation kind of gal. Versus other monster movies, especially for blockbusters, because not only is it incredibly beautiful, the visuals are, but there's a lot of creativity and imagination that really goes into that trailer into these monsters. We've never seen a massive moth thing.
Mothra.
Yep. Yeah. In a Hollywood movie before. Like, what? Not to mention when you describe it, it sounds so stupid, but seeing it on there, it looked so badass. It just looked really, really beautiful. And the colors and everything is just gorgeous. But it's very much a large scale, very global movie. Has an international cast, which I'm all about again.
Yep.
But also from reading a little bit about some of the synopsis and understanding a little bit more about the mythology and everything behind Godzilla, that, and while watching the trailers, it really made me appreciate it so much more, because there's a lot of little things that I could see that made me realize that they really paid attention not to just the bigger picture, but to the small details. And they really paid attention to the mythology of the characters and a lot of the background, its history of the Godzilla's history in cinema, especially in Asian cinema. And they're taking several cues from it, which I appreciate. So fingers crossed. This is going to be a badass movie.
Yeah.
It has all the things to be. So we'll see.
Now, the biggest question I have to ask you, did you like the 1998 Godzilla with the little Godzilla eggs, or the Gareth Edwards one from 2014?
I was 8 years old and I saw it, considering. So I liked it as an 8-year-old. I thought it was fun. I thought it was cool. I remember being sad when Mama Godzilla realized all her babies were dead. I was like, and she was like,
I still need to find out the eggs. Yeah.
Yeah. I was sad being a little kid, but now I'm like, I rewatched it maybe a few years ago, and I was like, oh, this is rough. But to me, it's still a fun movie. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's a fun ride. It's very typical 90s action adventure kind of thing.
It's got that 90s quality of action where it's kind of like hokey, but it's like fun.
You got this coffee? I call this America.
Yes.
It's so ridiculous. Yeah.
And the soundtrack was pretty dope as like an 8-year-old.
I've never paid attention to it. I have to check it out.
Yeah. Puff Daddy was on the soundtrack.
He's always a good addition.
With Puff Daddy with Led Zeppelin sample. Yes.
Ooh, that was a good one. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Song. That's a great song. Okay, well, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is by Jordan Peele. It's his second movie. It's called Us. Yes. So I was a fan. I came to Get Out late in the picture, so I didn't see that when the hype was going on. I watched it on HBO, and I thought it was pretty.
I'm a little bit late. Well, I'm a little bit later than you because I still haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No, I know.
It's on HBO. If you have HBO, you can watch that.
That's true. I have all the specials and everything to watch it. I have all the means to, but I think it's like I've seen so many scenes from it. I know all the plot twists. I know everything that happened. I've had it explained to me and over-explained to me.
Kind of ruined it.
Yeah, so I feel like it's been so hyped where I feel like it would be impossible to live up to.
Yeah.
But so because I feel bad because I've seen a lot of it in like bits, but regardless, he's a fantastic writer. I love him. You have an awesome pick with Us, so I don't blame him. Actually, one of my honorable mentions.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm just no. When it comes to like horror, I mean, I kind of like more of like the not more of the gore kind of slasher films, although they're fun. Everyone loves Halloween.
But much more psychological.
But when it comes, I like more like the psychological kind of.
Have you heard some of the fan theories behind it?
Of Us or of Get Out?
No. Both. They're actually part of the same universe, and the movie Us is actually what goes on in your head while you
in the
everything. Yeah,
in the dark place.
Yes,
it's like in place.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
That's a theory. No, like Jordan never confirmed it or denied it or anything, but that's
if we have mystery, if there's like a bigger mystery, and he is hosting a Twilight Zone, so maybe this is like one big Twilight Zone universe where everything is just like.
It's actually just like one long trailer for Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool to see whatchamacallit, when they come together again. A reunion, that's what I'm looking for. And it was nice to see the reunion of, Black Panther stars as well. Lupita Nyong'o and what's his face? Oh my gosh. Where did Vegetarian?
Winston.
Oh
Winston
my
Duke.
gosh. Yeah, I'm spacing.
Isn't it Winston Duke?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That beautiful specimen of a man. Absolutely.
Yep.
He's gorgeous. But yeah, it's real. I was so excited to see this. I mean, he's such. I mean, like I haven't seen enough of him. Which makes me so sad. I actively hunted for movies with him after watching Black Panther. And he has not made enough movies, considering how cool he is. So I'm hoping it's going to bring a lot more for him.
Yes. Yeah.
It looks terrifying. Looks terrifying.
Yes. I like that. I like the, and then I hear So.
Absolutely.
Right. So now where are we at? We're at number 2?
Yes.
Okay.
So my number 2, coincidentally, my number 2 is It Chapter 2. Yeah. So again, monsters. I'm all about it. Directed by Andy Muschietti, produced with his sister. I'm all for it. I love them together. I love the combination. I mean, there's nothing more to say on it. It's an amazing movie. The first one, you can't beat it. I would I can't really say I'd change anything about it. I love the blend of the genre of the coming of age, the horror. There's little bits of comedy in it. The actors are awesome. The kid actors, how are they so talented while so young? I don't get it. It's a genuinely horrifying movie, which, especially with horror movies on that scale, I feel like is very rare to make something like genuinely scary. But I mean, he's arguably one of the most iconic villains, literary, uh, movie wise, and period. He's definitely in discussion as one of the best villains of all time anywhere. So, I'm excited how it's going to differ from children to adult. How much
Mhm.
genuinely horrifying can it be? In this next chapter, with
Yeah.
not to mention the actors, slew of really amazing actors I really, really adore. Chastain, fantastic. Um, what's his name that plays? He's in Barry. He was on SNL. I can't remember his name for the life of me.
Hater.
Yeah.
John Hater.
Yes,
I,
he's fantastic. McAvoy, he's fantastic. So
mhm,
I'm really excited to see what more they can really do to improve it. Because in my mind, the first
mhm.
one is already an amazing movie. So
Yeah. Have you read? I mean, are you familiar with the
the book,
book of it?
I
Yeah.
read like 500
It
pages and I almost peed myself. So I was like, no
it's
more.
yeah. It's the weirdest. It's a
It's
weird,
too
weird
scary
fucking
for
story.
me.
Weird fucking story. So chapter
It's
two is gonna get
terrifying.
weird
Yeah,
if we're gonna get to the whole God thing and
it got too weird for me too quick.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Especially when,
So
yeah. So, but I think didn't Stephen King say numerous times that he doesn't remember writing it because he was on drugs the entire time when he wrote
yeah,
it.
he was he's
Yeah,
basically that was like his drug binge time. So
that.
that's why
But yeah,
later on half the book,
let
like
me just
chapter
casually
two went
disclose
like
that.
off the rails. Like it went totally bonkers. So, but that's why I'm curious to see how it's gonna turn out with
Mm-hmm.
part two, how they're gonna do that.
Although it is one of the things that I was actually having a discussion with a friend of mine how you know there's a lot of we don't have so much movie regrets, but there's the idea of some movies are so exciting that it's very difficult. Like, remember when Bohemian Rhapsody for a while, Sacha Baron Cohen was attached to it.
Yep.
That concept to me was so amazing, and I was so hyped for it for so long, and then it broke away, and I was like, oh, I was
Uh-huh.
heartbroken. But
Then we
with
got this movie.
exactly with Cary Fukunawa, with it's I that was idea was so exciting to me, like what he could have done with it, because he wanted to get really weird, he wanted to get gross. So I mean, like, oh god. But so I'm really curious to see, especially after watching True Detective right before that news came out, I was really excited to see curious to see what he would have done to really really make it creepy. But
Mhm.
regardless, those movies didn't happen. So
So now we got this one.
yeah, we got something
So
still amazing regardless.
I'm
So
still exciting. I approve that pick. Yeah, it chapter one, I guess if you can call it. That's
yeah,
chapter one. That was a big surprise hit when that came out.
isn't that
Um,
weird to call it a
I
surprise?
never expected. Yeah, I didn't like reboots and stuff. I like when I saw like the original one when I was a little kid. And then
Yeah,
I thought the miniseries was like scary as hell, but then I
yeah.
watched it again. Now it's kind of corny, but
It's like there's aspects. I mean, it's like so. I feel like I watched it for the first time when I was 12, and it was around that age at the kids, the same age as the kids, really. And it was
yeah,
really creepy to me then, but it wasn't scary. Like there's
yeah,
aspects of it where like the part where he comes out of the drain, that part was weird, but
yeah,
uncomfortable more than scary. Like it would just
yeah.
bother me rather than like, oh god, nightmares.
Hmm.
But this one, it didn't give me nightmares. It really left me uncomfortable where I would be like by myself at night, like trying to go to sleep, and I'm like, oh man, this. I really want to close that closet door. What is that glowing
Yeah.
light over there? So yeah, that's like, what kind of made me like uncomfortable with it a little bit because it was so, I mean, genuine. Like that scene in the basement, oh, with Georgie and the lights. Oh,
Hmm.
probably one of the most terrifying movie scenes ever.
Hmm.
Period.
Yeah. That's But that's like what people say about Hereditary. But I think it was a lot more scary for me. That traumatized me a lot more. That made me think more when I was just like sitting in my room, just like you said.
100%. So what's your number two?
My number two is a movie called High Life. The director is Claire Denis. So she's a French. It's a French director. They did Let the Light In. That was from 2 years ago. Andre 3000 stars in this movie, and
Really?
Yes.
Self or? Because I haven't heard of this one.
Yeah, this one I kind of learned through our Action Army chat, and I saw the trailer. So I'm just gonna go over the synopsis because it's kind of hard to talk about. So it's basically like this. It's like it's kind of like Annihilation, but like a combination like the father and daughter. So it's like in space, and so it's like. So I got the concept of it. It's gonna be kind of weird. It's got.
So it's
we
like
have Robert Patterson is in it. So I love Robert Patterson.
I like him. Yeah, he's definitely like making a name for himself as far as like for a lot of these weird indie movies. So I'm about that.
Yeah, because he's in Good Times. Was in Good Times, but the movie that she directed recently was Let the Sunshine In. So but this one is a movie. So they're like in space, and it's just kind of like about a survival story in space, but like father and daughter kind of thing. So think of like Logan, but in space.
So, I'm about that. I mean, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to definitely look YouTube that later. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. So I want to see that one. That's high up there. I think it's coming out again, like later in the summer, something.
I'll have to check that out though. I mean, I don't feel like Robert Pattinson. I feel like he has a hard time. People have a hard time letting him go from Twilight.
Kristen
And so I feel
too.
like since money's not an issue for him or anything, I feel like he's just been making these really weird movies as a result. And I really like that. And he's just probably trying to like low key change his image surrounding it. But I've never seen him in a movie where he's, or in a kind of like sci-fi movie, like that, or one that's so high concept. If that makes sense,
Yep.
I mean, that's usually, especially survivor stories, let alone space survivor stories, are usually so emotionally draining, psychologically, obviously. So I'm curious to see, what kind of situations can be put in.
Yep. So before we unveil our number one, do you want to recap your 5 through 2?
Absolutely. So my number 5, I have Her Smell, starring Elizabeth Moss, Cara Delevingne, directed by Alex Ross Perry. Number 4 is Hellboy by Neil Marshall. And number 3, Godzilla King of Monsters, directed by Michael Dougherty. And, oh, that looks so good. It Chapter 2, directed by Andy Muschietti. And finally, number 1, drumroll. I would tap. There you go, tapping.
There we go.
There you go. I feel it's a given. It's been 10 plus years in the making. It's Avengers Endgame. There's nothing more to say. I'm so jacked. I'm so hyped for this. In my house, we literally have a room dedicated to comics. So the amount of anxiousness and love we feel for this franchise, let alone, this movie, how it's finally coming to a conclusion for a handful of these characters, I really am ecstatic to see on the big screen. And I really want to get super emotional watching some of these characters. Who's going to die? Who's not going to die? I know who's going to die, but still, we are not going to, I don't know if we're going to see if we're going to die. We'll see.
We have our theories. Spoiler alert, mine is the same, of course, obviously. How could you not want to see this movie?
Yeah.
Like you said, we've had 21 movies leading up to, we'll have 21 movies leading up to this film. And it's almost like, an end of it. It is the end of an era, so for a lot of these stars.
Well, I had someone tell me they actually wrote a paper on it as far as like the culture surrounding Avengers, the Avengers franchise, which I thought was really interesting. And this movie is different from the other movies, but most movies in general, not only because it's the buildup of how many movies it takes to it, but it's one of those movies. It's more of a cultural event than just a movie. If that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like everyone and their mother's seen it. Everyone in every small town is familiar with it, or at least has a concept of it. Everyone has a theory of who's gonna die. Is it Iron Man or is it Cap or is it Cap? We don't know. I know, but we don't know. So,
Yeah.
but everyone knows and everyone has an opinion. Even if you don't read comics or even if you don't care about comics, everyone has some strong feeling for it. You know, even if you
Yeah.
don't love it, you have an opinion about it. So it's crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely become more than just, a movie, but as you said, it's like this global event kind of thing where every year around the world, everyone is, everyone knows Tony, everyone
Cap.
knows Cap,
Yeah.
Rocket now, the Guardians. But, now just to see that, it's kind of like everyone's, it's like when everyone had the water cooler talk,
Exactly.
it's like that show or that series that is coming to a close that people are going to be talking about once this comes out. So,
Yeah.
you know,
It's like Game of
and
Thrones times 20.
yep,
If that makes sense.
yes,
You know.
yep. So, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
We'll get Captain Falcon as the new captain.
Oh please, that's not gonna happen. Bucky.
Oh, I love
Fight
Bucky
you.
too.
I will fight you,
I
Dan.
love Bucky. I love my Bucky. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing more to say on it. Everyone and their mom wants to see it. But that being said, I'm really curious about, in addition to that, just bouncing off of it, how they're going to add to it. I mean, what are they going to do after? How are they going to come back from that? You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's
Yeah.
I mean, arguably it's going to be possibly one of the biggest financially profitable movies in history at this
Billions of
time.
dollars,
At
probably.
billions, multiple
Yeah.
billions.
Yep.
With a B. And so that being said, and it's everyone agrees, unless you're like that 1 in a million critic that disagrees, that agrees that this is that Infinity War was an amazing movie. How it ended, how it looked, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus, Mary and Joseph, Peter Parker, fucking how he died.
You're
I was
breaking
like,
my heart already. I'm
come
ready to
on,
break them. Yep.
Mrs. Stark.
No,
Oh God, that
Steve
was
and Bucky. No, we were talking about Bucky. That was
rough.
the one that broke me.
It was annoying. It was annoying how emotional that was.
Yeah.
Rough. But how are they gonna come back from that? How are they gonna make just a handful of like low key movies? How are they gonna make more Avengers movies after that? What villains can be bigger
Then
for a
Thanos.
movie than Thanos? He literally
Yeah.
destroys worlds. I mean, maybe Galactus. Maybe we'll have a Celestial come back from the dead or something at some point. I don't know. But I mean, I just can't picture anything stronger or more devastating than what Thanos has done.
Yep.
So,
And I mean, we're gonna be getting the X-Men and Fantastic Four finally, so we'll have to see how they cast them. They did a great job with Tom Holland and Spider-Man, so.
I already have my fan castings out, so you'll see.
Oh, we're gonna have to discuss that on a future episode, our fan casting.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
All right. So I guess so I gave away my number one, but I'll recap my 5 through. I'll count off mine too. So I had a tie. I had Knives Out, and I had Joker. Number 4, I had Toy Story 4. 3, I had Us. High Life at number 2, and then like you, Alex, I had Endgame at number 1. So, but surprisingly, none of us picked Star Wars. I guess, yeah, Star Wars But any other time, Star Wars would be up there. But for me, it's not even like an honorable mention yet right now. Just because my interest is kind of just went downhill.
I mean, I feel very indifferent towards Star Wars. I mean, Solo came out. I was just like, blah, I don't care. I was actually one of the few that I genuinely liked. I walked out of the theater for The Last Jedi. I really enjoyed it. Upon rewatching it, I find more things. I find more and more holes that make it more difficult. But I appreciate the risks and everything that was taken. It's not like a typical Star Wars movie. But my favorite Star Wars movie was Rogue One. I mean, of the since rebooting it recently. So knowing that it's not going to be standalone like that, kind of makes me less excited. So we shall see. I mean, again, I feel nothing for it, but I mean, if it ends up being like the best movie of all time, I'll be psyched.
Yep. Well, and J.J. Abrams is behind it again, so hopefully,
I'm iffy on that, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying he did The Force Awakens, so hopefully we're not going to get a copy of
no
Return
more
of the
Disney
Jedi.
princesses, please.
Yeah, well, no more knockoff versions of Ewoks or anything like that.
Exactly. Do you have any honorable mentions?
A couple honorable ones. So I have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I feel nothing for that movie. Like watching any of the stills or anything, I don't even get a little excited, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I just like it. I just like Tarantino. I just want to believe in it.
What about it excites you specifically? Is it more about it being a Hollywood story? Is it more of like the idea?
Yeah, I like the idea of like the historic. Yeah, I like the idea of it being historical because I mean I love the Inglourious Bastards.
Of course.
So I like the idea of having something surrounded in like a historical time period. So it not necessarily about Charles Manson murders, but just during that time period. Because if it was just like a straight up like story about that, then I wouldn't really be that excited.
Well, I mean, there's like parts of the idea. There's parts of it that really make me nervous. Like, how are they gonna do Sharon Tate's death? She was like 7 months pregnant and she was stabbed to death.
We can't do that.
They will never do that for a movie. And also that, considering it's a fictional retelling of a real story, I wonder how the family and friends, feel about this fictional retelling, which Quentin Tarantino has said numerous times that it's going to be, a dark comedy. And I'm like, how can this murder
be
massacre be funny in any way, except for maybe character moments here and there, But I mean, so I'm really curious. I'm curious more than excited how this is going to come out, how it will emerge. But it's very pretty. The costumes and everything looks stunning. So
yeah, Lion King looks pretty good. I mean,
cried watching the trailer. It's beautiful.
I love it. It's the opposite of how I felt about Aladdin. I can tell you that.
I swear, if I cry watching that movie one more time as an adult, not gonna be cool. Not cool, Disney.
Not cool.
Not cool.
Tearing me apart, Disney.
Yeah, there's actually a video on YouTube over it's of Simba nudging Mufasa for 10 hours trying to wake him. It is the saddest thing ever.
Oh no!
Like,
no, don't do this to me.
Oh my gosh. I remember when those 10-hour videos were like all the rage, where it'd be like a song on loop with a weird video or something. But yeah, after hearing that, I'm like, nope, too many feels. No F.
Yeah. Yep. I'm out of here.
Yeah, that's too much. Let's say my honorable mentions are actually John Wick 3. I mean, it's fantastic. It looks so beautiful. Halle Berry, I can't wait to see her in an action role with those dogs. That looks so cool. Yeah. But Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, the reboot.
I'm one of the few Kirsten Stewart fans, bouncing off of Robert Pattinson earlier. And also, I was obsessed with Charlie's Angels, the first one, obsessed, with it much more in the second. So much so that when I was in fourth grade, um, I actually rapped I like big butts and I cannot lie. That's the whole song for my fourth grade talent show in front of the entire school because I was so obsessed with Charlie's Angels, the movie. Yeah, legit.
Yeah,
So,
fans, stay tuned. You may hear Alex rap in the future episodes.
Oh, absolutely. Very intense.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna start wrapping up soon. But in the meantime, we asked some of our fans on the Action Army fan group some of their picks. So
Cool.
I'm gonna read some of them off, and if any of them spark any interest from you and you want to talk about them, feel free to like stop me and let me know. So first one is Brooklyn Vale. Shout out to Brooklyn. He runs the jukebox trivia, so that's the one that I compete in. I have a match March 5th, so vote for me. Watch me kick some ass.
Heck yeah.
So he has at number 5 he has Lion King. Number 4 he has Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
Which looked really cool. I didn't know I needed. I didn't know I needed a Pika pool in my life.
That's good. That's really funny.
Yeah. Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Yeah, I'm more excited.
Then he's got
Gyllenhaal than Spider-Man, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big Jakey fan. Love my Jakey.
Who is?
And Avengers Endgame has number 2, and Rocket Man has number 1. That's an interesting one. So,
yeah.
What do you think about Rocket Man?
I actually watched that trailer like 3 times earlier today, like back to back. It's a beautiful trailer, like visually it's stunning. I know a lot of people. I know the trailer's getting a lot of flack because some people are saying it's, and in theory, very true to the story. A lot of people really don't like how it's. A lot of people don't like how that he's doing his own music, like he's Taron Egerton is singing.
Yeah.
Elton, which I think he actually has a great voice.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not Elton. I mean, but who is?
No.
Honestly. But it just looks stunning. I'm a little nervous for it. I mean, just directly following up Bohemian Rhapsody, though.
Mm-hmm.
And Elton being much more of a prominent gay figure in terms of his openness in the public, obviously. Earlier on versus, oh crap, I'm spacing on his name. It's Queen.
Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, I can't believe I completely spaced on it. That's embarrassing. But Freddie Mercury, he wasn't so much in the closet, but at the same time, he just like hid, that aspect of his life away from, the media, from his fans and everything. So he was just much more of a private man. So I'm kind of curious to see that approach to each of these really major iconic music.
Yeah.
Characters.
Did you see that DreamWorks movie Sing, where he was like a gorilla?
Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah, he sang the "I'm Still Standing" by Elton John. So he can sing as Elton John, so he's got that down. So
yeah, he clearly has talent. Yeah,
clearly he can play the part. So let's just hope that movie is going to be
good. But those are solid picks. I love all those trailers.
Up next, we got Andy Wood. He's got kind of a combination of the two of us that we have both.
Okay.
So he has Joker at number 5, Knives Out, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, John Wick 3, and then another like space film. It's called Ad Astra. So that's a science fiction film that's coming out. I don't know too much about it, but so that's his number 1. So that's a good one. We have Jack Mayer. He has It Chapter 2 also on his number 5. He has John Wick Chapter 3.
Wait,
Once Upon a Time.
What? It Chapter 3?
No, John Wick.
Oh,
John Wick.
That's it. I thought you said It Chapter 3, and I was about to hyperventilate.
No.
What?
No, because he put chapter 3 next to that. So
Yeah,
you
that
can
was my
see
bad.
right here it says
Yeah.
chapter 3.
Yeah, that was my bad.
Um,
I have horrible hearing.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he's got us, and he also has Avengers Endgame. So
Perfect. Yeah.
and Brian Newsbaum. I hope I'm
His
saying
name
your
is
name right.
Newsbomb?
Yeah, Nussbaum, something like that.
Oh, I thought you said
Probably
Newsbomb.
Newsbaum. I don't know.
That's it. That's an interesting name right there.
Yeah, I probably chopped your name terribly. I'm so sorry, Brian. But he has Lion King. He has A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. So that's the Tom Hanks, Mr. Rogers movie.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Mm-hmm.
That one I forgot about that was coming out this year. So
yeah,
I liked Want You to Be My Neighbor. That was another cry movie. Beautiful.
can you imagine anyone else
Being Tom Hanks?
Yeah,
as Mr. Nope.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I was like thinking about. I was like, yeah, I can't. I was trying to picture any other actor, and I just couldn't. It's probably the most perfect casting ever.
So. Yep. He's got Shazam. None of us have talked about Shazam. So, what do you think about Shazam? What do you think about that?
Shazam, I think it looks awesome. I'm just very iffy on it because DC movies scare me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad. I mean, like Aquaman was fine. It was a fun movie. Wonder Woman, a good movie, not a great movie to me.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a good movie with great moments, if that makes sense.
No, I totally agree. I'm still saying Man of Steel is my favorite of DC.
Yeah,
Wonder Woman does come in second place for me, but that third act kind of just ruined what could have been like a perfect movie for me.
Oh, if anything, what kind of broke me up with Ares in particular, the third act didn't kill me all that much. It was just more of Ares with his weird mustache.
Oh yeah.
that just really took me out of the movie for a bit. I was like, what are you doing? Oh,
so I just didn't like the whole connection with the love aspect, and it kind of just took away the whole Amazonian, fierceness of Diana Prince, But
I thought that was fine. That didn't bother me super much. But again, I feel like it was a good movie with great moments. It was like third part. Yeah. Third act didn't bother me all that much, but
yeah, Aquaman was kind of fun.
It was
visually looked nice, but
it was
story wise there was not really much of a story, but it was still kind of fun.
It was a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
It was
so if Shazam can be continue on this, I guess they kind of realize that they can't take them so seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So
I really like the main guy that plays Shazam. I don't know his name. I would
Zachary
Levy.
Yeah. Zachary Levy.
But sorry?
Zachary Levy.
Oh yeah, I've seen him on a handful of other shows, and he's really funny. He was like a Marvelous Miss Maisel very recently. He was fantastic. I remember that other show where he plays like the IT guy to a spy network. But that came out like in the early mid 2000s, where it was really funny. But I was very uber surprised by his casting, though. I mean, he's not a very well known actor. I mean, like he's made a handful of cult classics in terms of comedy and TV, but he's not exactly, aside from this, he has no reason to go to Comic-Con. He's not hopping up in any big blockbusters aside from this. So it was really much a very big surprise for him and his casting. And also tying into It Chapter 2, one of the little kids is in it. Bam!
Yeah. There we go. All right. We got a couple more from our very own panel. So we have Nat. He had some honorable mentions that we haven't talked about yet.
Okay.
Zombieland 2 he talked about. I forgot about
that. Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
So he got Zombieland 2 as an honorable mention.
That's a fun one.
Then he also has Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Detective Pikachu, Cross, Spider-Man, and Avengers Endgame. So Matt's a
After,
big fan of those blockbusters. See?
I'm sorry to say it, but Into the Spider-Verse is my favorite Spider-Man movie. So I
Oh,
feel
mine
bad
too.
for, yeah, so I feel bad for this, for Spider-Man Far From Home. I
Mm-hmm.
feel bad for it having to come
Top
after.
that.
Like,
Top that
I,
movie.
emotionally speaking, I don't need another Spider-Man. I can just live my life with nothing but animated Spider-Mans for now. So,
Yeah.
and
And
it's,
it had
you
one of
know,
the
I'm,
best Stanley moments too. Oh god.
yeah,
Beautiful.
arguably the best Stan Lee cameos we've ever had, all
Mm-hmm.
of them. And there's like
Mm-hmm.
5 Stan Lee cameos in the movie, which I thought was really funny to hunt for them.
Yep.
But yeah, but I mean, again, I mean, when it comes to Spider-Man Far From Home, the idea of it doesn't excite me all that much, but Jake Gyllenhaal excites me. He's like
Yeah.
the only reason I'm excited for that movie. Honestly, it took me like a
Mm-hmm.
good month and a half to see the first Spider-Man: Homecoming. I mean, because I was just like,
Mm-hmm. And I feel like this is going to be this year's version of Ant-Man and the Wasp, where, like, because we're so devastated by the end game, we just need like a fun globe-trotting adventure with Spider-Man going to Europe,
oh yeah,
kind of
field
thing.
trip.
So I think that's why, like the plot isn't going to be like too heavy or anything like that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, in terms of it being exciting, I mean, I hope we get more from MJ or Michelle, whatever they want to call her.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not really. I mean, the love story, we don't. I don't know, but
Yeah,
whatever. Okay,
she
and
looks. Yeah,
last,
that looks really cute. I really like Zendaya.
yeah,
Or is it Zendaya?
and
I
that
feel
Zendaya,
yeah,
whatever.
Zendaya. She's
Yeah.
yeah, she's pretty fantastic. I love her casting. I'm hoping. I don't know the girl from the first movie. I don't know her name. But Michael Keaton's daughter. But I wonder if they're gonna bring her back as a
Mm-hmm.
little villain at some point. Because I know in the comics she ends up being a villain.
Oh, she does. I didn't even know
Yeah,
that.
she ends up being like I don't know what her character her
Mm-hmm.
power ends up becoming, but she ends up becoming like a little villain, not a big villain,
Hmm.
but a nice little villain for Spider-Man down the road. So
That would be kind of interesting.
she
Like
ends up blaming
spite.
Spider-Man
Mm-hmm.
for what happens with her family.
Ah, yeah, and I know Ned becomes the Hobgoblin, like his character.
Mm-hmm.
He's the
Oh yeah.
Hobgoblin. So I
Mhm.
mean, we got a couple of them. We had
Yeah.
Sydney Moon in there, so we might be getting Silk.
Yes. Hopefully. That's,
Yeah.
fingers crossed. That'd be pretty awesome. I am dying for an Asian superhero,
Mm-hmm.
like a legit Asian superhero.
Real
That
one.
would be
Mm-hmm.
amazing. Cannot wait. Um, Mulan can't get here fast enough.
Yeah, although I don't think they're
Yeah,
gonna have the songs in them, but
yeah. Heaven help us when Aladdin drops officially. That's gonna
mm-hmm.
be a bloodbath,
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Hot Jafar.
Yeah, I mean, like I like Hot Jafar being a female. I know I find
Yeah, I mean he's
kind
hot.
of okay.
I
Yeah,
would, but I
but
mean
his
I want him to be cartoonily evil. You know.
I want him to be much more mischievous. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
about like, mustache twirling evil, but
Mm-hmm.
I wanted him to be very threatening. Like his
Mm-hmm.
voice was like his voice was
Soft.
very wasn't like if and you can have a soft voice, but there was no level of threat or deviousness to it. The like the costume, it looked like the costumes and everything looked like it was for a play, you
That's
know.
what I thought. I thought I was watching
I
a
mean,
Shakespearean.
everything
I thought I was
looked like
watching
it
a
needed
Shakespearean
striking.
play.
Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
nothing looks dirty. If that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. And you're in a fucking desert.
Yeah.
How is nothing dirty? I mean,
And his name is Aladdin is the street rat, and
yeah,
there he is like shiny and you
yeah.
know
And I just want to put some dirt on everyone's faces. That's kind of it was kind of weird, a little frustrating watching it because and in the animated movie, like that was a real big thing. like they really emphasized, how obviously how little he had, or at least, I mean, he had a song dedicated to it, having nothing. But also, I mean, like everyone around him seems like, maybe, I'm sure it's going to be different in the movie, but everyone around him looks pretty good. Everyone looks very clean. Everyone is jeweled up, even like every the peasants and everything, and that was in the paths and doing the dances, and the kids, they looked good.
Yeah, they didn't look like the
So
little starving children that he had to feed the bread to.
I know, I was like, I'm
Exactly.
sorry, this is a very well-fed child. um could you get a smaller child, or it was just like a little weird. I'm like, I think you can go another day without eating, like if you tried. That's
Yep.
on myself. But
All right, and then lastly we have we have James's list. So let's read his. He has Greta Gerwig's Little Woman. And
yeah, I'm excited for that. It's
yeah,
coming out in this fall or winter. Like, I feel like it's coming out in November, December.
that's another one I didn't know coming out. So
Emma
so he had that.
Watson.
Yep, I like the Little Woman. I like that. It was like the one from the
Right.
back in the day.
It's directed by Greta Gerwig, I think. Is that her name? That did Lady Bird.
Yep, and choosing Francis Ha.
Yeah, this is the passion project she chose after.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. He also had a tie between that one and the Mr. Rogers one, The Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Number four, he had The Irishman. None of us talked about that one. That one is I think that's Scorsese's latest one.
Yeah, it's
right?
coming out on Netflix.
It's coming out. Oh, it's coming out on Netflix now.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And I'm sure, like for Oscars, they'll probably like release it in theater for like a week or two or something.
So it might be like a Roma thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But they're doing it for, but that's like one of the big pushes with, I think they're doing for Roma, is because, hey, they're like, well, hey, if we can get it nominated, if we can do so amazing with Roma, it's a foreign language film done by a streaming service, and arguably one of the best movies of the year. Streaming service or whatever aside, imagine what they can do with a movie with Scorsese, with De Niro, and and Pesci. I mean, they're bringing all the best back. I mean, and so they're thinking, I know because Roma was not, I can't remember how many awards Roma was nominated for, but if Roma can do that with with what he had, imagine what Scorsese can do with everything he has. So he's guaranteed to get some awards, not just makeup and hair. So
mind you, guys, we're recording this right now as the Oscars are going on. So we don't know right now if Roma is doing well. But
I know. I was trying.
So once we get here, we're probably gonna recap everything. But
absolutely.
And so he had Once Upon a Time in Hollywood at number 3, Avengers, and then he had Episode 9 as his number 1. So we'd have a Star Wars fan with us that still has faith. Still has faith in the Force. So we're hoping for James and all the other Star Wars fans. You can see I have my Death Star shirt. So I mean, I want.
Oh wait, let me. Okay, I have one too. Let me see if I can grab it. Let's see. Sorry about that. See, my someone in my family, he actually works over there. He works down in LA doing stuff like that for Star Wars movies, and he gives us a whole bunch of Star Wars merch.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is exclusive, guys. I didn't know this was gonna happen.
He's actually at the thing right now, which I'm like, he sends us like pictures and updates. So like
Oscars, he's at the Oscars now.
Yeah.
You're saying?
Yeah, he is.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's in a way.
Is he nominated? Is he an Oscar?
No, he does stuff like in IT and stuff. He's like part of a team kind of thing. But regardless,
it's still cool.
He sent me
jealous.
This one. Yeah, this is what I got.
Yes.
He's very proud of it. He sends us like Star Wars stuff like that all the time. which I'm psyched about because not only just free merch but like good merch. So,
yeah, exclusive merch that you won't get anywhere, and you can just
exactly.
be like, yeah, names.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm so excited. I just want to thank all the everyone that submitted their top fives. That's really awesome, though.
Yeah.
Great picks too. Awesome picks.
All right. So that's gonna bring the conclusion to our episode. We ran it a little longer this segment, but I hope you enjoyed the show. Again, thank you to Alex. Welcome to the show. We're glad to have you here with us, and we're gonna be seeing more of you, I'm sure. So, with that being said, we're gonna sign off. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on DKPKP. Instagram Danny underscore K22. You can follow Ben at Ben Bateman Media, Andrew Guy at Andrew Guy on Twitter. Do you have anything to plug?
I don't have Twitter. I don't have Facebook, but you can follow me on Instagram at Mac_Midori.
Okay. All right. And this week, I don't know what they're doing in action movie anatomy, but I know last week they just did Alita Bell Angel, so
so
definitely guys check them out on the Popcorn Talk as well as the Action Guys podcast on Collider. And until then, we'll see you guys next week. Later.